Hello everyone, welcome back to Nails by Sora, or welcome if this is your first time here. I'm happy to have you. Today we're going to do, this is an extra video that I'm posting today. Since this weekend is Memorial Weekend, I figured it was only right to do a red, white, and blue inspired manicure. Now, I'm not a very politics forward person, especially with the state of affairs in America right now, but I'm not going to devolve into that topic of conversation because I don't think it's important. But I do think it is important to honor those who willingly serve our country and put their lives on the line for us every day. And I'm getting choked up. But so I did want to do something to honor them in a small way. So I figured I would do this accented French, for want of a better way of referring to it. Now, it's funny because when I finished it, it kind of made me think of sneakers for some reason, athletic wear, just because of the overall design. For some reason, it makes me think of a pair of athletic sneakers. But you let me know what you think down below in the comments section. If you do think it looks like sneakers, drop a sneaker down below. But it did give me the idea in the future to do kind of a Converse style design on my nails. I'm not sure if I want to do it in 3D, or if I do it in 3D, it won't be on my nails. I'll do it on nail forms. But if it's 2D, then I will do a design on my nails because I think it could be a lot of fun. But so, as I've said in other videos, I'm kind of on a French manicure kick, so I decided to keep it going and do a red, white, and blue French manicure. And I did want to use my dip powders because I really don't use them all too much anymore. And while I'm not using dip liquids, I am obviously dipping into the gel. Generally speaking, you don't, when you're using gel, you don't really want to dip into it. You want to pour over, because if your layers are too thick, then you could end up pushing the gel and winding up with some buckling. And I was lucky that I didn't really have that issue. I did have an issue where I didn't really get good coverage, so I dabbed a little extra gel on and re-dipped, or kind of laid my finger into it, which did create a little bit of a raised portion on the nail. I think it was this finger actually coming up, my middle finger. But I was able to fix that in my when I went in to file and reshape the nail. So I'm going to take you through the process of how I'm achieving this look. And I am going to be adding in some gel polish to do the smile lines, and then a little bit of a starburst. I did start doing a traditional 5-pointed star, but I didn't really like the way it looked, so I changed it to a starburst. And I think it really adds a little bit something different to the manicure. So as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm putting a pretty thin layer of gel base onto my nail, and then I'm angling my nail into the dip powder, making sure that the dip powder is level in the jar first. And I'm trying to put my finger in at a 45-degree angle, because I like a pretty deep smile line. I like the bottom of it to go down to the middle of my sidewall. So I'm going in at a 45-degree angle, and then I'm kind of just lightly pressing my finger into the powder. Excuse me, so that I don't push the gel as much as possible. If you want a squared off smile line, meaning that it doesn't curve down, it just goes straight across the nail, you want to put your finger in at a 90-degree angle. And then if you slightly increase or decrease the angle, then you're going to deepen or make the smile line more shallow. So if the gel liquid was still a little wet, I went in and I put a little bit more powder on. Then I dusted it off by tapping my finger, and then did a full sexy 60-second cure. And after it came out of the lamp, even though it was cured, it was still tacky. So I went and poured over with this sparkly jelly dip powder by Dipwell. It's JL01. I'll link it down in the description box below. It's one of my favorite jelly dips. I absolutely love it. Very classy, very simple. But I basically adhered it to the tacky layer and then gently went over it again with more not dip liquid, gel base, and then poured another layer of the JL01 on top. I didn't want to build up too much more of dip powder because I didn't want my nails to be really bulky, which is why I should have, but I kept forgetting. I had the jar right next to me that after I put the blue down, I wanted to do a layer of the Dipwell powder. But I kept forgetting, so that's why I put it, the first pour over I did on the tacky layer, and then I went and put on another layer of gel base and poured over a quote-unquote second layer, more like 1.5, just to get a little bit more depth from the sparkle. So after I cured, I went and I used a scrubby brush to dust off the excess powder. I wiped the inhibition layer so that I can now go in and start filing. I did do all the filing off camera, so now that all my nails are reshaped and the profile is nice and retuned, I'm wiping the dust off, and now I noticed a sharp edge, so I'm just cleaning that up. But now I'm going to go in with my red and white stripes. Now, while I'm laying in the smile line accents, you'll notice that I do have to keep going in with a cleanup brush, a little bit of alcohol, to make sure that the lines were clean and straight. Straight meaning that they weren't, wobbly. I don't know why, but my hands were really shaking when I was doing this manicure. I was having a lot of difficulty, maybe just being tired. Usually when I'm doing my nails, I haven't eaten, but I did actually have a real lunch today, or when I was doing the manicure, so I don't know why I was so shaky. But I wanted to keep the cleanup in as much as possible so that first of all, that you can straighten up the lines without having to completely redo it, and also so that you know that obviously I'm not perfect, and I continuously have to readjust, redo, realign different areas of the manicure as I'm doing it. But my pointer finger and my pinky are obviously clear, or rather the jelly sparkle. But I did still want to do a French accent, and I see it a lot, kind of like this, I don't know what you call it, this outlined French, where basically you cap your edges in the color and then you draw the smile line and connect them so that it's kind of a hollow French. Hollow as in nothing in the middle versus holographic. But actually I should do a holographic French. I'll have to put that on the list. But along with the cat eye French that I keep meaning to do. But I found this a little bit of a challenge, and I wasn't really sure if I liked it at first, but now that I've been sitting with it for almost 24 hours, I do kind of like it. I have this tendency to really like certain designs when I see it online, and then when I put it on my own nails, I don't like how it looks on me, or maybe I'm just not doing it right. But you never know until you actually try it, so now that I have tried it and I've sat with it, I kind of want to try some other designs with it. Maybe, I've seen people border their entire nails with a color. I'm not sure how I'd feel about that. because as not that my nails really get the chance to grow out before I'm doing a new manicure, but I feel like it would be really weird to have a line going around the cuticle edge, and then as your nail grows out, that line grows with it, and then the manicure just, you really see it, and you almost have to do a new manicure immediately once it starts to grow out. All right, now that the white line is in, I'm going to go in with the red line. This is where I originally started to put in a star. I wasn't really sure how to incorporate the red. I thought maybe just putting a star in the corner of the nail would work, but I really didn't like the way it turned out, so I ended up scrapping it and going on to the double smile line. Didn't know at first whether I wanted to put it above or below, but I decided since it's red, white, and blue, it would look better to have them in order. So I have the red line, then the white line, then the swatch of blue. And I did have some difficulty laying it in without overlapping completely the white, and then having it somewhat bleed. If I tried to correct the line, I wound up getting some pink in with the white. So I did use a little bit of acetone very delicately in areas where I needed to remove the red so that I could get really a clean removal process versus the alcohol, which tended to smear it and create like a pink wash over the white. And then because you have to have the stars with the stripes, I decided to put in that starburst on my pointer and pinky fingers. And I think I really like the way the 6-pointed starbursts look. It's a little bit more delicate, a little bit more ethereal, a little bit less... Oh my God! American flag. Sorry, didn't mean to scream. Not that there's anything wrong with the American flag, but it's just like a walking advertisement. But I do really like the way the Starburst and these nails in particular turned out. So, as I usually do, now that the manicure is finished, I'm going in with a base coat and a top coat. I always go in with the base coat first for one reason, or rather one reason being so that I can even out any layer imperfections in the manicure. It kind of creates that extra layer between the design and the top coat so that you can create a little bit more space and level it out. But also I find the top coat is almost a little bit more shiny if you put the base coat on first. Plus you're less likely to get peeling from the top coat if you have that tacky layer on your nail first. So whether I'm doing dip liquids or I'm finishing with gel or doing a full gel manicure, I always do a base coat before my top coat when I'm finishing off my manicure. And that's going to do it. Thank you everyone once again for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it educational or fun. Either way, please give me a like and a subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you always know when new videos are available. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please put them down in the comment section below. I'm finishing up with cuticle oil. As always, this one's just a non-name brand from Sally's that I've used since the beginning. I'm actually starting to run out, so I might get another bottle because it is my favorite. And that's going to be all for this video. I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.